Good Friday morning. Today is January 16th and the weekend just about here. We've got a great weather desk lined up for you today. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller. I'm broadcasting from Norfolk, Virginia from 13 News Now. And you found us here on 13 News Now. Plus, maybe you found us on YouTube. In any case, we're glad you are here. And each and every weekday morning at 9 o'clock, we tackle the day's top weather headlines. So what's on tap for today as we get ready for the weekend? Well, there are more problems due to wintry weather across the northeast U.S. We'll take you to some crashes and an airline incident that is not necessarily related to the weather, but there was snow flying at the time and does give you a little something to think about here. We're going to hear from a passenger on board a plane and an issue that was going on. We've got an update on the drought situation. Specifically, California continues to enjoy the benefits from all of that rain that they had. It wasn't great at the time in terms of some of the flooding issues and other things going on back along the West Coast and up through the Pacific Northwest. But the benefit to all of that, and we were talking about this over the last couple months as we were talking about this extremely wet weather pattern, was that those reservoirs that are so vital to providing water later in the year for California residents, they are now, I just looked at this, the average for the state of California, they're up to 128% of their historical average. So those reservoirs in great shape, and we're going to show you a few that are basically at capacity. So kind of a story that is positive for California regarding the wet weather pattern. Now we're going to take a look at the other headlines, including the details for the Virginia gubernatorial inauguration. That is coming up. Hunter Force has been taking a close look at the conditions up in Richmond for tomorrow. We'll hear more from him. He'll join us live in just a little bit. And then Weather 101. Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandages is back to explain Virga. You see that precip on the radar, but is it a problem for us? Well, he's going to talk about Virga, what it means, and how it develops, what's going on with that. In addition, we're going to take a look at the national weekend forecast, and we're going to focus on our chances for a little wintry weather for the end of the weekend, mainly southeast Virginia, maybe a couple of flakes for parts of North Carolina, but we'll explain how the models have been trending and what's in store as we head through the weekend. So obviously a lot to talk about. We're going to start off with a look at the wintry weather that has been a problem in the Northeast, and you can see how we've got this storm system rolling along. When you see the blue fronts, you know, okay, those are cold fronts, and those little arrows along the blue lines there on those fronts, those are called barbs. The barbs are pointing in the direction that that cold air is advancing. So you can see that cold air sliding south through Massachusetts a little bit later today. And we've got these warm fronts shaded in red with these little half kind of semicircles. Those are called pips on that red line there. That's the warm front. Those pips indicate that warm air is lifting kind of in this direction off to the northeast across southern Illinois and Indiana. And then you see this kind of magenta color. And you wonder about that. If you are a meteorologist, you know exactly what it is. If you're a weather enthusiast, you may know as well. The term we use is an occluded front. It has properties of both the warm and cold fronts. You can see it has a little semicircle, those pips that we see on the warm front, right next to the little pointed triangles, the barbs. So when you have a magenta line with pips and barbs, that is an occluded front. And again, that's showing kind of how this frontal boundary is going to move. And when you have an occluded front, that is a sign of a mature storm system. And we've seen a lot of development around with snow and some wind back across this area, some colder air plunging in behind that system. So I thought I'd give you a little weather knowledge there on the surface map. Now we're going to take a look at some specific areas, and we're going to start off in the Northeast. Our first stop around Erie, Pennsylvania. One person is dead after a crash involving 3 tractor trailers on I-79 in Erie County. Authorities say one trailer, which was stopped in the right lane due to traffic, was hit by another tractor trailer traveling behind it. Then a third trailer hit the second one. The driver of the third trailer, who was just 22 years old, died at the scene. Also in Pennsylvania, another crash in Erie, this time on Interstate 90. Caused major backups Thursday afternoon. This crash involved cars and tractor trailers not far from the Ohio state line. There was no word if anyone got hurt in this crash. And then we want to take you to a 30-car pileup, which left several people hurt. This happened Thursday afternoon on I-81 near Lafayette. Authorities say in all 7 people were taken to the hospital. At least 2 of them have serious injuries, but they are expected to survive. Authorities say the primary crash involved around 18 vehicles, including 3 tractor trailers, but there were also a number of smaller crashes nearby. All right, we're going to take a look at those areas again. Here is Erie, and we mentioned that over to Syracuse, just south of it, Lafayette. That's where that last crash was. And then finally, we're going to take you over to New York. But this time, it's not about a traffic crash there near Rochester. We're going to zoom in and take a look at the airport that serves Rochester. There, a plane at the airport ran off the runway. Take a look at crews towing it back to the hangar at Frederick Douglass Greater Rochester International Airport. This happened last night. There were 90 people on board that American Airlines flight hoping to head to Charlotte. Now, fortunately, no one got hurt. One passenger even says she barely noticed anything had gone wrong until the pilot made an announcement.
A completely normal flight. I didn't even know that we had gone off the road, we'll call it. So other than that, and they just kept telling us there obviously was a delay. So we were just waiting and waiting, and then I'm watching the clock because I've got a connection in Charlotte that's not going to happen because I'm going to San Antonio. I'm trying to get to San Antonio to visit my friend, and yeah. So that was my biggest concern. And then once I realized it was never going to happen, so.
So you really didn't feel anything? You really didn't notice that something had happened?
Just what the pilot told us. I didn't notice anything had happened. So, yeah.
What did you do during that time? Did they make an announcement over
Yeah, they made a few announcements, just kind of giving us an update. But like I said, I didn't know anything was wrong. They finally did come out. The fire department came, and it was they took care of us. They were helping hands and the whole shebang.
Did you get off on the tarmac, or how
yes,
did that work?
Yeah, they came to us in buses.
Wow.
So, which was fine. They did it quick. It was a little snowy, but I was going to San Antonio, so I'm not wearing my winter coat.
An airport spokesperson says they're not sure. They don't believe that what happened was necessarily weather-related and that the airfield was cleared of snow and ice. American Airlines also says the plane was de-iced before the attempted takeoff. Bottom line, all the passengers were okay, and that's the important thing. You take a look, they were dealing with snow, though, across that area. And again, the airlines really do a good job of preparing those planes for flight. The airports up in those snowier cities, they also know how to deal with it. So typically, they can handle this stuff. I will tell you another area that's been dealing with a lot of snow and blizzard conditions up into central Canada, specifically Ontario. Take a look at this again. We'll show you what Toronto, Ontario has been dealing with. We're talking heavy snow. They've had gusty winds, snow squalls, and bitter cold. It caused major delays at airports and forced dozens of schools to close. So that's snow and wintry weather, even a problem up across Ontario and specifically Toronto there. All right, we're going to turn our attention now to the drought situation. I mentioned yesterday with this updated U.S. drought monitor that Hampton Roads is now, and specifically Norfolk and the metro area, under a moderate drought. So this is the first time we've been there in a little while. We have been dry each and every day through the first 16 days of 2026. No rain yet for our calendar year. You can see out to the west, we have severe drought. It's been dry for the southeast, and there are some pockets of severe to even extreme drought just out across the central part of the country. But out west in California, they are still celebrating the fact that for the first time in 25 years, the entire state is officially drought-free. And again, even the areas shaded abnormal dry, they're all off this map. Things are looking good. Cornell Bernard has a reaction and whether this trend is sustainable.
Alpine Lake on Mount Tam is spilling over. Cyclists Mick and Logan from San Francisco admit they've never seen so much water here.
I know that we've been in a drought for a really long time, so it's great to see a lot of water. It's really beautiful.
No drought here. Marin Water says all 7 of its reservoirs are now at capacity.
I think it's awesome. We just walked the trails here, and you had to avoid the puddles. And that's been a long time, and the spillway is absolutely gorgeous.
She's right. The spillway from Lake Lagunitas looking like a waterfall. Marin Water says fall and winter rains, which brought recent flooding, have delivered 31 inches of rain to the Tam watershed. The same period last year, it was 23 inches.
As long as the skies are sunny and blue, they'll be holding on to that water to keep the reservoirs topped up.
Stuart Tiffin from Sonoma Water says its reservoirs also at capacity. Releases are closely monitored to prevent any flooding on the Russian River. Winter is far from over, but it's never too early to talk conservation.
Our policy is that there's never enough water to waste, so in a way we're always in conservation mode.
Drought conditions are vanishing statewide. Check out releases happening at Oroville Dam, the state's second largest reservoir, rising 137 feet since December 20th, capturing 300,000 acre-feet of water. Governor Newsom saying California's water strategy is working. We're not just managing for today's conditions, we're building a system that can handle whatever our changing climate throws at us.
I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling like we are out of drought, but we still have to be cautionary, and hopefully it'll last for a couple of years.
All right, so California obviously in good shape right now. I mentioned Hampton Roads, though, we do have that moderate drought, and we've got a little precip in the forecast for the weekend. We're going to take a short break, and I want to let you know we have your Inauguration Day forecast coming up. We're not looking at snow for Inauguration Day, not around Richmond or not here, but we'll let you know what you can expect if you're going up to Richmond. And then we are going to talk about our chances for a little bit of snow later in the weekend. So we'll have that coming up after the break. In addition, if you're looking for something to do tonight, 13 News Now has you covered. The 13 News Now weather team is taking over at the Norfolk Admirals game for Education and STEM Night. We are so excited about this. There will be lots of fun on and off the ice. The team will be challenging fans with Are You Smarter Than a Meteorologist? And we're going to participate in a puck shoot as well. You can also check out our Weather Impact Interceptor. It'll be out on the ice. We'll be standing by hoping to meet and chat with a lot of folks coming out. The puck drops at 7:05. Hope to see you out there. Good morning. Welcome back. We are really glad that you're with us here on the Weather Desk. You know, Saturday is a big day for the Commonwealth. It's Inauguration Day for Abigail Spanberger, who will make history as the first woman governor of Virginia. Meteorologist Hunter Force is joining us now live. And Hunter, I know you've been taking a closer look at the hour-by-hour forecast for the event.
Yeah, Craig, that's right. And you know what? It's not looking too bad for January. We'll be waking up in the mid-30s there in Richmond. A chance for a few isolated showers by mid to late morning, but not looking too bad. Clearing out by noontime, and we'll be into the upper 40s. A mix of sun and clouds by later into the afternoon. Highs right around 50 degrees, dropping into the mid-40s as we head into the evening. So for January standards, Inauguration Day looking pretty good up in Richmond, but it will be a little bit breezy as well as we head into the afternoon. So it'll be feeling more like the low 40s by the time the inauguration starts, around feeling like 41 degrees. Heading into the afternoon, feeling more like the mid 40s, dropping into the lower 40s by the evening. Craig?
All right. Thanks so much, Hunter. Appreciate that. You know, one of the things as you're checking your maybe mobile apps, you're looking at a radar, sometimes you see some precipitation out there and you might wonder, you know, what's going on and, you know, are we looking at rain or why isn't it raining when it says there's rain right over me? I have it on my app, right? You might wonder about that. Well, we're going to be watching and we can explain what's going on. There is this precipitation that falls but never makes it down to the ground. Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandagis explains what Virga is.
Have you ever pulled up the radar on your phone and thought, wow, it looks like it's raining everywhere, but then you step outside and the ground is completely dry? You're not crazy, and the radar isn't broken either. Radar can see precipitation high up in the atmosphere, but it can't always tell if that rain or snow actually makes it all the way down to the ground. This is something we call Virga. Rain forms up in the clouds, but the air closer to the ground is very dry. As those raindrops fall, they evaporate, sometimes completely, before they ever reach us. Think of that dry air like a sponge. It just soaks the rain up. Sometimes you can actually see the Virga with your own eyes. It looks like streaks falling out of the clouds that just fade right before they reach the ground. This happens a lot this time of the year when we have dry air near the surface, especially behind cold fronts or during quiet weather patterns. Even though it doesn't rain, Virga can still affect the weather. As rain evaporates, it cools the air, which can cause a sudden temperature drop or even kick up a quick gust of wind. So the next time radar looks ominous, but your driveway stays dry, now you know the rain just didn't survive the trip down.
Great information there, Tim. And again, that's one of those things that we do see it actually somewhat frequently, especially when it's just dry at the ground. Now, we're going to get back into the forecast, but you know, I was so excited to hear from Hunter and then get into the next story there with Tim that I forgot to mention that you can live stream right here on 13 News Now Plus the inauguration ceremony of Abigail Spanberger as the next governor of Virginia. You can do that right here on 13 News Now. Plus, we'll have team coverage from Richmond starting at 11:30 Saturday morning, and our teams are working hard to bring you great coverage of that and everything. We bring it to you right here at 13 News Now Plus. Take a look at the temperatures now across the country. We've got still some chilly weather up in the Northeast. It's been milder out along the West Coast. We're plenty cold this morning here in Hampton Roads. And again, some more snow is flying back across parts of the Great Lakes down through Illinois into Missouri. Some unsettled weather with snow showers, Nebraska into South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and back to Wisconsin as well. What we're going to find over the upcoming weekend, right now I'll mention there is no significant threat of severe weather. Obviously, you got to be careful around some of that wintry weather there with road conditions and whatever, but no severe weather, no hail, no tornadoes or strong, powerful winds associated with storms. And we're not looking at any excessive precipitation, so we're not worried about flash flooding. Those are good things as we look at the forecast for today and really through the weekend as well. Now, what's going on? We've got a storm system. Again, we're going to see a little bit of warmth ahead of it. And then if we get some of this energy coming in with a little bit more moisture streaming up across the southeast coastline, we might see a little wintry weather here later Sunday. It's really been borderline. We've been talking about the chances each and every day, and there is still a chance. I wanted to start off with the big picture here, looking at the nation. You can see how quiet it's going to be out for the western half of the country. You get into the upper Midwest and back across the Great Plains, and you do pick up some snow showers here. Snow more likely across Kentucky here. And if you travel Kentucky, maybe 64. Maybe headed from Grayson back out towards Louisville, Kentucky, you're going to find chances for snow this afternoon or evening, so be careful traveling there. Some rain chances down across southern Kentucky into western parts of Tennessee and central Tennessee. Some more showers possible down across Mississippi into Louisiana. But again, the snow largely around the Great Lakes region and back across the north central part of the country. That's for Friday evening around 7 o'clock. Notice we're still clear. We're going to be clear overnight and early tomorrow. You could see some unsettled weather out to the west. Hunter was talking about that rain chance kind of approaching the Richmond area late morning. Hopefully drier by the inauguration. We're looking pretty good around here. Low risk of a passing shower. If you're going to be up in the Northeast, New England, parts of New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, back into New York State, you've got some snow up that way, some snow showers across Ohio, Pennsylvania, back towards Michigan as well. Still very quiet out west, so that's a good look at Saturday evening. Heading into Sunday, now we're seeing that moisture we were talking about, Gulf moisture riding up ahead of that front that's coming in. Mainly rain. It's going to be warmer for us here, so I really do think the model's trending warmer. They've got a good handle on that now, that it's going to be rain to start earlier in the day on Sunday, especially over eastern North Carolina. We'll see a chance here, but with some colder air kind of working in aloft, there's a possibility we may see some snow on the back edge of that late Sunday or Sunday evening before it pulls away. More snow up around the Great Lakes region, cold air coming in over the Great Lakes. Things still quiet for the weekend out west. Let's take a look at the forecast and give you some numbers here for temperatures. New York City 38, 41 in Boston, Cleveland 33. You see the chances for precip up there on Saturday. Raleigh looking good at 58, 74 in Orlando, New Orleans. I haven't said that in a long time. New Orleans, about 55 degrees down that way with partly cloudy skies. St. Louis, Chicago, really chilly again Sunday. We'll get to Sunday's forecast in just a moment, but note those cold conditions. Chicago, Minneapolis, single-digit temps. 47 around Dallas, cold there. 69 in Vegas. Well, LA looking at 78, 64 in San Francisco. Beautiful up in Seattle, 51. All right, let's take a look at Sunday, and you see that moisture coming up earlier with that chance for some wintry weather here late on Sunday. As we check out the temperatures, Raleigh around 42. Yes, it's going to be colder on Sunday. New York, 35, some snow there. Boston, the same. Cleveland at 19. I want to show you, looking ahead to Chicago, 19 and chances for snow. The Bears are hosting the Rams late in the day there in Chicago, and we're talking low teens probably around the game time. Kickoff will be late afternoon and into the evening, so you're talking probably 14 degrees, 13, 14 degrees, maybe single-digit wind chills. Really blustery. It's going to be interesting to see how the Rams handle that bear weather there in Chicago. Much nicer down across the southern part of the central U.S. Lots of sunshine and still looking great out west. Time to address what we're tracking for Hampton Roads. It's going to be cold again today. It already has been this morning. Wind chills into the teens. We've seen temperatures down into the mid-20s, low to mid-20s for some inland areas. It will be milder for your Saturday, and then that mix or rain transitioning to mix and maybe a little bit of light snow on the backside of the system late Sunday. Does not look like it's going to be a big storm based on how things are going right now. I'm going to show you the models here, and we'll talk about the trends. It will be cold early next week and through most of next work week. Here's a look at the temperatures. Today, we're going to stay in the low 40s, 54 tomorrow. There's that bump ahead of the next cold front. We've got the chances for rain mix and maybe a little bit of snow on Sunday. Temperatures trending down. Monday, still cool, but mostly sunny for Martin Luther King Day. Then really cold. Some of the coldest weather we've had, down around 34 with this winter season. Morning temperatures bitterly cold there. Wednesday back to 40, staying below but close to average on Thursday and Friday, and then a little bit warmer than average by next Saturday and Sunday. So that's the 10-day trend here with our temperatures for Norfolk. Taking a look at the wind chill. Again, we have been bitterly cold this morning. Wind chills will be in the mid-20s as we head through the late morning. Looking ahead to the afternoon, it's going to get a little bit milder, but still really cold temperatures. Generally feeling with the wind like it's in the mid-30s. As we go through the evening, it continues to be pretty chilly, so just bundle up. It's going to be clear. You'll see that with our futurecast here. Looking great across the region. If you like the sunshine, you're loving this. But it is going to be cold, and those winds coming up from the southwest, that is the key to the forecast for our warm-up tomorrow. You see the south and southwest winds. That'll keep temperatures late tonight and early tomorrow not too terribly bad. Generally mid to upper 30s near the coast. About 10 degrees warmer than what we saw this morning. Some cooler temperatures inland. Now you see the precipitation out to the west, some snow over the mountains, maybe a little bit of rain or mix across the Piedmont. As we head late morning and get towards the 11, 12 o'clock hour here in Richmond, chances for a few showers. Again, the inauguration around midday, and then those showers push past it. Very low risk of a sprinkle. I don't think we'll see much. I do think we're going to see temperatures into the mid-50s, so a nice relatively warm day for your Saturday. Then we start thinking about what's coming up on Sunday. As we get into Sunday, chances for showers and some rain as we go late Saturday night into early Sunday. So rain showers at this point early Sunday. Later in the day on Sunday, still mainly rain down to the south, but you see that snow on the backside north and west here as we go late afternoon on Sunday and into Sunday evening. It will pull away. As far as amounts go, the models have been trending down with the snowfall projections. Still, though, there could be some snow that sticks on some of the grassy areas and elevated surfaces, especially north and west. Mainly rain down to the south and some mix here. This is the GFS model there for Hampton Roads. The Euro, same deal, some mixing here. Rain mainly south side down into North Carolina. Chances for snow a little farther north. So the models are still working it out. Bottom line, again, the models have been trending with lower amounts now, less than an inch with the Euro until you get up to the eastern shore. And again, some slightly higher amounts with the GFS, but lower amounts near the coast. So those are the headlines. Again, models trend towards less snow. Best chances for snow on the ground north and maybe west. Still uncertain, so keep checking back for more updates. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. After that warm up, again, we trend down. Chances for the wintry weather late Sunday into Monday. Breezy and chilly. How about 20 for a morning low on Tuesday? Afternoon high near 34, and then temperatures coming up a bit. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Weather Desk. Again, it's always great to bring it to you. We're going to be keeping an eye to things over the weekend, so keep checking back with 13 News Now for more updates. Till then, have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.